Hello, my friend. There is going to be a situation when you are like, what is going on? Why this rule is not working? Why I'm doing everything properly and I just can't find a way to make this rule working? And it happens because, well, you don't know about this thing that we're gonna talk about in this lecture, about priority importance of rules when you are selecting things, okay? And this is pretty similar to how the cascade works, but this is like, a bit more precise thing because, well, we know now that when you create a style here, right? And when you access type 1 and when you change the background here, it means that this is more important than this thing from the external source, right? That's all. This is just more important, okay? But what if I do similar things here, right? What will happen when I, do something like, let's create a type 1, and now here I change the background color to blue, for example. Which one should be chosen, this one or this one? And as you can see, this one. But why? Well, let's maybe do it this way. Now it will be red. Why is that so? Because when you look here, if the priority importance is equal, so, well, we have got the selector which does the same, right? And this is called the class selector, and it is the same. It has the same importance. Then the properties are combined, and those that occurred later override the previous one later. So it means that, hey, this one is later in the file style.css. That then it means that the background color is gonna be red, okay? And well, otherwise it is not the order that counts, but the importance. What does it mean? Well, if we had an ID selector here, so for example, I will say, hey, you know what? Well, this one is gonna be pretty important guy. So I'm gonna call it like this, and I want it definitely to be, for example, chocolate, right? And it's chocolate. This one is chocolate, and it doesn't matter right now where this thing is placed. I can place it here, it's gonna be chocolate. I can place it here, it's gonna be chocolate. Why? Because this is the ID selector, and it is in the cascade. What a more important thing. Later there is inline CSS, and later there is important features. So if I do something like that, I want this guy to make, for example, have the background color to be, I don't know, corn silk. You'll see that it is corn silk now, okay? And because this is the most important thing. But if there are sometimes situations when you might be confused and even this will not change the color, then it's time to use something what is called a keyword important, okay? The exclamation mark important, and it should be placed before the semicolon, okay? And this is even more important, but please don't use it. If you see it, you will know why something is not working. That's why I'm showing it to you, okay? But because sometimes you might do everything properly here, right? And something and this rule is not applied to the tag on your site. And then you are like, what is going on? Then it's probably time to look at HTML file and look for the person who did this and kill him and fix it, right? Look for the thing like this and fix it by removing it and doing everything fine in the external file. Do not kill anybody. I was just joking, okay? So there is more to it. What is more to it? Because, well, we have got the body tag, right? And notice that here is something like inheritance. What does it mean? It means that some rules, which are like, for example, color of the font, are inherited. So for example, when I type here color and I change the color to something like this, it means that this color is gonna be inherited in every tag that is inside the body. That's like when we have a father, mother, we can inherit their color of the eye or, the big nose, for example. But, we inherit things from the parents, and div is a child for body. So body is a parent for div, and div inherits things from body. It doesn't mean that it is gonna inherit every rule, because some rules doesn't, if they were inherited, it would be just stupid, right? But things like color of the font, it is pretty good idea, right? Because it would be stupid if I had to change the color for every possible tag, right? So I do not remember which one is inherited. I just think in my mind which is what would be a good idea to inherit, right? So color is a good idea to inherit, but I don't know, for example, border around the body would be stupid to inherit in div, right? Because everything later would have a border around it. That would be stupid, right? That's how you remember what is inherited or not. And as you can see, it is the highest thing here. And it also means, because this is a cascade, it is the least important. The least, it's not important, right? So it means that if you use the selector tag, right? So if you use the type 1, for example, and you change this color later to something else, like for example, fire brick, you will notice that this color for the type 1, the font has been changed, right? You can change it to anything you want, because maybe we inherited it, but this is more important what I say in the class selector, okay? This is more important, the class selector. Then ID selector, then inline CSS, and then the important. So that's how it works. I also want to show you something pretty awesome. Notice that we could do something like that. Type 1 and then type 2. Yes, that's pretty properly written, because, well, class can have 2 values, 3, 4, 5. That's up to you. And now there is a problem. As you can see, we have type 1 and type, because we have type 1 and type 2. So the first thing that happens is that we are connecting combining what is not present in all of them, right? So color is gonna be like, in this and this right now. So we have got the color indigo, that's for sure. Then later we can see that we have got type 1, which has got the background color blue. Then we have got the red color, and then we have green, which is the background color that is last in the style CSS. It's this one, right? So that's why, as you can see, the background color is just green. We said this is gonna be green, that's all. If we change, the order like this, then it means that this is the last one, and we have got here red, okay, in the type 1 and type 2. So the order is what matters when we have got the same priority, right? Because we use the class selector in both cases, that's how it works. And you might be wondering, how can I remember all of this stuff? Well, imagine that you are a processor right now, or like some kind of, analyzing program. You are a program, okay? So if you are a computer and you're analyzing the stuff that is written here, you are reading things from top to bottom, right? And you are like, okay, so I need to change the background color to blue. Okay, I changed the background color of this line to blue. What's later? I need to change the color of the font to indigo. Okay, I do it. And then, oh, there is one more thing like this. And I need to change the background color to red now. Okay, so I change blue to red. Okay, then I have got the class type 2. Oh, okay, so I need to change the background color to green. Okay, then I will change it to green because it's later, right? That's how you remember it, because it's the computer analyzes everything from top to bottom, okay? So the last thing is always the most important, but only if we have the same selector. I'm telling you it again, because if you use, for example, here ID sample, right? And I choose it by sample, this thing is the most important thing right now. We can change the background color to, I don't know, light sky blue, right? And as you can see, it's light sky blue, but I can put it at the top of your style.css. It's still gonna be light sky blue. It's because, as I said, if the priority is equal, only then the properties are combined and those that occurred later override the previous one. Otherwise, it is not the order that counts, but the importance. And here is just a hint. The more precise the choice, the higher its value, right? Notice that inheritance is something that you can change later in your life. If you are stupid, then you can become, I mean, if your parents were stupid, you can become smart. You know, some things can't be changed, right? For example, color of the eyes, right? But some things can be fixed. So later when we have got the selector tag, this is more precise, right? Class selector is more precise, ID selector is even more precise, inline CSS more precise, important is more precise. So the more precise something is, the more important, the higher its value, and the thing that the rule that is gonna be applied is the one that is more precise. That's all in that lesson. I hope you now understand the problems of every CSS creator. Thank you very much.